like to welcome today Korey Kuppe, who faces off against Michael Lombardo on the Contender Series, September 15th. Korey, how are you holding up today, my friend?
Good, good. Just tired, training hard, fighting every day. So just takes a couple hours to wake up, but it's all good.
I can only imagine. This fight's going to be at 170, and you're definitely a very big guy for 170. The fight's still a couple weeks out, but have you started cutting weight yet?
Yeah, so the crazy thing is my weight naturally dropped a little bit over this quarantine because my business shut down and we didn't get any loans or unemployment or anything. So I kind of just had like little bit of financial problems, so I kind of just didn't eat as much. So my weight was naturally lower. And then I'd been traveling around like the last couple weeks. I had a fighter that was supposed to fight in Missouri, and then I had to go to Vegas for media. And then my brother was supposed to fight on LFA, but his opponent had a false positive. So I was traveling around and not getting a lot of sleep and eating. So my weight's actually pretty light right now. So I'm actually going to be eating really good all the way to the scale. Hopefully he has a hard cut and he's deteriorating.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, at least you could find a positive out of the whole COVID situation, like, lack of food, but that contributed to less weight that you had to cut. So that's good. So
Right.
7 of your 8 wins have come on the ground. What's your favorite submission?
Anyone that works, but typically I'm really good at a lot of fancy stuff that I don't use in the cage, but my favorite is probably calf slicers and twisters, but the overall in the fights I like chokes just because the MMA fighters are really tough. You look at my opponent, he's a tank. He's never been submitted. These guys are strong, they're mean. You don't feel as much pain in there. So chokes to me are the way to go because they go to sleep. They can't fight anymore. Where like I've had my arm popped in a match and just kept going and won no problem. So yeah, pretty much anything that shuts the brain off, I'm into.
You fought at a lot of different weight classes in your career, 185, 170. You even went down to 165 catch weight to fight Kenny Cross earlier in 2019, who, interestingly enough, I actually had him on the show yesterday too. What are the odds? But in what weight class do you feel that you can perform at to the best of your abilities?
170 is my home. I fought 185 just because I couldn't get a lot of matchups at 170. I was having a hard time finding fights. Rightfully so too, because if you're another guy on the come up, most fighters are similar, and then you got this one guy who's a 6'5" karate guy who has great jiu-jitsu. It's like, let's avoid that guy. Especially like you look at the wrestlers. They're going to beat pretty much everybody they face unless they run into a guy that can head kick them or choke them out. So they were ducking me. So I had to take all these 85 fights. And then the 65, that was just like, that was a little bit too much. Like I can make the weight, but you're not fully yourself. But yeah, that was just more so for the opportunity. I was having a hard time getting matchups. And they're like, you want to fight Kenny Cross? And I'm like, this is supposed to be the best guy, but I think I'm the best guy, so let's do it. And then it turned out like that was probably the biggest fight in our state's history. That was a packed arena. The undercard was Josh Parisian, who just won on Contenders versus Brett Martin, and then Jamal Hill, who's killing everyone in the UFC, Colin England, who's on Contenders. So that was like, Matt Frendo made one of the sickest cards of all time on that fight card. So I'm like, you know what? I'll cut the weight. I had to take that fight.
Mm-hmm. And 170.
And Kenny's my boy now. That's so good.
So you're fighting at 170. It's obviously not far off from 165, which you said you're not exactly yourself fighting at. Do the media demands right now disrupt your training and preparation leading up to a fight, especially with a guy your size?
Oh no, I've been like, honestly, I did 2 or 3 interviews already today, and I just like wake up, do them, and then go back to sleep if I need to. I like to sleep in a lot. People are always like typically the world tells you, like, you got to be up early bird gets the worm, but it's also like, dude, I fight at night, you know, and I study a lot at night. Like, I'm up at like 3-4 in the morning studying stuff, watching film, like doing mental training. So no, it doesn't bother me. I like it.
What's the game plan for the
If
15?
people don't want to talk to me anymore, that would bother me.
Awesome.
My game plan is the same as always, you know, drop them and choke them. Take them out on the feed. If we go to the mat, take them out on the mat. You know, I'm a fight finisher. All my wins come by finish. This guy's never been finished, so that's going to be a good challenge. But I also think he hasn't been in there with potent finishers. You know, a lot of these guys have kind of some babied records, you know. I was fighting guys like Kenny Cross and JP St. Louis, and just all the way back to amateurs. I was fighting D1 wrestlers. In 2011, I was fighting Bobby Nash, Troy Lamson, Ryan Dixon from Canada. I was fighting the dogs. So I fully feel I'm ready for, if a war does present itself, I'm fully prepared for that war, you know. I know he trains with good people, but it's a whole different game between training and a competition, you know. And a lot of people get confidence from training in those big gyms and fancy gyms, but I get confidence from being the outsider that beats those big gyms, because I can watch and know what styles they use. They have no idea what I'm coming with. You know, I'm the anomaly, and I'm the people game plan for. You know, I don't game plan for other styles. Most people fight similar. They game plan for me, you know, and I figure out how they're going to game plan for me too and counter that. So I already have a pretty good idea of what he's going to attack. There's some things that look open to people, but because they look open, I make them wrong. So if he thinks he's going to attack my lead leg and stuff like that, we have some counters that are going to be some highlight reel knockouts on ESPN Sports Center.
Nice. And last one for us, what should the fans expect to see out of Korey Kuppe on the 15th?
The fans on the 15th are going to see Korey Kuppe blow the roof off the UFC Apex. You know, I'm going to be absolutely spectacular, like I always am. I've been training. I'm at my 11 years. This is going to be my 39th total fight. So I truly feel I'm the complete package. I'm 6'5". I'm pretty good looking. I hit hard on the feet. You know, I can fight off both stances. I can box. I can kickbox. I can fight sport karate style. I can wrestle pretty damn good. I don't use it a ton because I don't like that style of fighting, but I can wrestle pretty damn good, and my jiu-jitsu is obscene. My ground game is through the roof. I wrap people up in knots, tie them in a bone, and send them packing. So they're going to definitely see something different. I'm definitely not your average guy. You know, I fight completely different, and I'm not here for points. You know, I'm here to be a legend. So I'm here to take people out, and then it's on to the next one. Them welterweights are not going to like me, I'll tell you.
On to the next one. I like to hear it, man. Well, that's all we have for you today, Korey. Thank you very much for stopping by, and we really look forward to seeing your fight in a couple weeks.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me. We'll see you soon.
See you later, brother.